Hello there, my very good friends, and a warm welcome and good afternoons to you. On this video, we've got the real reason behind AEW's creative upswing.
An update on Rey Fenix heading to WWE.
Some details on Michelle McCool replacing Mickie James on LFG.
And could Kendrick Lamar appear in AEW? I'm Adam Wilborn.
It doesn't take a genius to figure out why they might want to do that.
Yep, and this is the after news.
Okie doke. AEW, vibes are good at the moment, right? Vibes are good, shows are good. It's been a really solid few months for them.
Show this weekend, of course.
Show this weekend, Revolution card, looking really nice, looking really swell. The ticket sales for that are actually pretty strong as well. They look set to break about 10,000.
Oh, nice.
You know, in this era, has got to be considered a success. So there's a lot of good feeling about the place at the moment, right?
Stop shilling for AEW, Andy.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
by simply being slightly nice about them.
If you watch yesterday's ups and downs, you'll know why.
Wasn't it? But didn't you give them 300 odd downs?
I did. 360
and three quarters.
Yeah,
I
something
saw
like
it.
The check bounced, Tony. It still hasn't cleared. But in general, I think if you look at how people are, AEW fans at least, how they're talking about the product, it's a lot more positive. It feels good. And even if you watch the shows, they feel tighter. They feel a bit more cohesive. Why is this? It's because Tony Khan's in the weeds, baby. So there was a report in January, I think it was from Fightful, talking about how Tony was going to get back in the creative weeds a little bit more. And Tony basically confirmed that he's been doing this during the pre-Revolution media call yesterday, basically confirming that he's being a bit tighter on what he allows making it to the show. He's taking a firmer hand, and most of what you see on TV now is a product of him. So he basically said that he'd made a promise to himself on New Year's Eve 2020. That was a week after that Dark Order angle with the punches. You know, it was seen as a bit of a turning point for AEW. He made a promise to himself that he would present great TV shows and he would not shy away from turning ideas down. The majority of what's currently being presented on TV right now is by him. He added, he said as well that years ago he realized that this was the route he should be taking. There have been times where he's been too collaborative in his view, and while he enjoys that, a part of the creative process is saying no. So it sounds like Tony made this promise to himself and then maybe has let it slip a bit. I remember after All In last year, he was talking about how there's 27 people involved in creative, and he was talking about that like it was a good thing, and maybe in some cases it is, but a lot of times you have these tired writers who were fired from WWE and they have these tired ideas. Sometimes it's going to make some tired ass TV. A big part of being the boss is saying no. If an idea comes through and you just think it's rubbish and it's not going to work, you have to say no. Doesn't matter if it comes from Chris Jericho or Chris
Eagles.
The
former footballer. I don't know why it popped into my head there.
I couldn't think of another Chris. I ran out of Chris's, man. There's loads of them. It doesn't matter. If you think it's a bad idea, you should turn it down. So I always thought that when that Weeds report came out,
it's weird to be saying that.
He's playing FIFA over here. He's met with Lucifer and he's secured some legumes. Jokes aside, when that report came out, I straight away I was like, good.
Yeah.
Because to me, one of the best periods of AEW was in early 2020 when he took control, when he took the power back to a degree.
Yeah.
The build to Revolution 2020 was sensational. I think the build to this show has been really good as well. I think it's a good thing, man. Yeah,
you used a nice phrase there, cleaner. I think you're right in terms of it just makes more sense. I know, however you feel about the man in terms of, well, the awful stuff he's done outside the ring and also the awful stuff he did inside the ring, the latter stages of it. Like when WWE was at its peak, it was because it was all funneled through Vince. Vince had the final say on everything.
Before he lost his mind.
Exactly.
Obviously, yeah.
And it was one of those things where I understand why it happened with AEW. Like Tony Khan spinning so many goddamn plates. It's not just the fact he's doing AEW and all the variety of different shows that they do, and Ring of Honor. You've got Fulham. You've got the Jacksonville Jaguars. You've got just living your life as well. Don't forget to eat and stuff like that.
Having a family.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. But you have had a sense of this. From the start of this year, arguably, and towards the end of last year even as well, it just feels a lot more straightforward in terms of everything makes sense in a build, like you say, to the pay-per-view, for example, that we've got this weekend. It's just vast improvements for me in terms of, especially AEW Dynamite, just making a whole lot more sense, and like you say, just being just smoothed off in terms of like, no, this is what we're doing and this is how we're doing it and this is how we're getting there, basically.
Yeah, for sure. And look, I made no secret, I didn't really enjoy a lot of AEW in 2023 and 2024. Like, it just didn't hook me the way it used to.
It was still great. Well, we're not saying it was bad. Yeah. Sting was incredible, for example.
On pay-per-view, the pay-per-views are...
Yeah, take Revolution last year.
Yeah, like they're absolutely rocking, and I'm sure this week's will be great as well. But you make the WWE comparison. Also, I think WWE was at its absolute worst when it had like 40 different writers, and you go and you watch. They had these videos on their little YouTube channel. Or on their recruitment page, where they'd have these interviews with these guys who were like, I've got experience in everything except wrestling. Well, that's why it sucks, brother. Yeah. That's why 2019. Yeah, that's not a good thing. That's why 2019 sucks. And the good thing about Tony Khan and his creative mind is that he is a big wrestling dork like the rest of us. He's a Mid-South guy. He's a pro wrestling Noah guy. He understands his history. He's on the message boards. He was probably playing EWR. He loves pro wrestling. So whatever you will say about his managerial side, I know it gets really tribal up in here, all over the place. It's the internet. Come on, that's what happens. You can't deny his passion for the sport. And I fully believe that the best version of AEW is Tony Khan making the final calls with a smaller group of writers offering ideas, not 30 or whatever. It blows my mind when people say he needs more writers. It's like, what are you talking about? He's got 30.
And all the wrestlers no doubt pitch ideas as well.
Exactly. It's too much. So look, you can look at their business, right? And that's what a lot of people go to. They had a crap number for Dynamite this week, 0.13. Ratings are always this last thing to kind of creep back up. But they've got a nice attendance coming for the pay-per-view this weekend.
The venues are far better now, and I know that was a process that was always going to take a long time because they presumably booked 6-12 months in advance, but now the smaller venues like on Wednesday were great.
They feel cooler, don't they? Obviously, the business side of that is that, you'd like to get back to a point where you can fill a 8,000-9,000 seater or whatever, but they feel nicer on. They're nice. They're more fun to watch. You can feel the atmosphere coming through your screen.
Exactly.
So look, I think they're in a good place, and I was very critical of their output last year. I think that was justified. I think that was warranted. But they're having a good run.
And as part of cleaning up AEW and sort of making it more streamlined, I suppose is the word I'm looking for, Tony Khan not only has got more into the weeds in terms of booking, he's kind of just gone, right, let's if people don't want to be here, let's let them go. Yeah. Miro, Ricky Saints, Malachi, Aleister Black, and of course, Rey Fenix. And we got a bit of an update with regards to what's going on with him. No real surprise here, but some great reporting, as always, from Fightful, that if he hasn't signed with with WWE even yet...
He's come back!
Oh, what have I done?
He's gone back to Guantanamo Bay. He said, Paul Catraz, no thank you.
If he hasn't signed with WWE yet, he will do very soon. When Sean Rossat from Fightful was asked about his status, he's apparently expected to get WWE medicals done very soon. Also, merchandise has already been brainstormed for Phoenix within WWE. So barring major unforeseen circumstances, he's going to be in the Fed very soon, which obviously is something we've anticipated for a long old time. Penta's there, he's doing great stuff. You anticipate maybe even we'll get the Lucha Brothers back together before WrestleMania. I hope so. Lucha Bros versus New Day could be an unbelievable match at WrestleMania.
That'd be great, yeah.
But no real surprise, just official confirmation he's going to be signing on the dotted line very soon.
Definitely, and Tony had some comments during the call yesterday where he was like, I'm assessing these things on a case-by-case basis, and I thought this was for the best to let these people go. He's right. Like, I don't believe in holding on to unhappy people. It's counterproductive to me. And also, I do think sometimes it kind of builds hype for the opposition, right? Yeah. Like, when Penta came in, like, the perception, at least from online fans who discuss wrestling online, I'm reticent to use IWC because it's kind of a useless term these days. It really is. But what the perception was that, it's like Defiance almost. Hell yeah, he's free now. He's coming over, all this stuff. And the angle's right there. Penta's got trouble with multiple people at once, and he needs some backup. Oh, it's his brother who also is awesome. Writes itself.
Yeah.
Writes itself.
I was chatting to a friend of mine last weekend whose son is just like, he doesn't watch AEW. He barely watches WWE, but this little lad, Jackson, is mesmerised by Penta. And I was like, just you wait until his mate arrives.
Yeah, he's even flashier.
Exactly. He's like, what's he like? I was like, imagine 10 times more insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, really excited to see what he looks like in WWE.
Less shtick, more flips.
Yes.
With, that's they kind of balance each other out really well.
It'll be a bad time for Pete Dunne and Ludwig Kaiser straight away, isn't it?
They're going to have a rough night, those guys. They don't even get along. What's going to happen?
Oh, God.
What's going to happen? Right, let's talk about LFG.
Okay.
It's not a real show, but let's talk about it. LFG, if you've not seen it, it's basically WWE RTV Respect the Business.
Respect the goddamn business.
It's the show of them like putting performance center trainees through the ringer. Bully Ray. We've all seen the clip of Bully Ray and that guy getting into it.
And the one who's dancing.
Yeah.
I saw that clip of Take and the girl going, "Can I use Hell's Gate, please?" And you've been in this business 5 goddamn seconds.
You want to take my move? Does he think he invented that move? Like it isn't a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu hold?
Personally, I think the Hell's Gate kind of sucks. So take it if you want.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's just a move. What's the matter?
Mickie James was on there.
She was,
one of the panelists, but she's off that for season 2.
Ooh.
And in is coming Michelle McCool.
Now, how could this have come about?
Fightful have the scooperelli on this one, stating that with Michelle coming in, apparently, according to people close to A&E production, The Undertaker was instrumental in getting Michelle McCool. I'm not sure what the link is between them two.
Big fan, probably.
Yeah, someone could let us know. I don't know why he would.
Oh no, I do remember him wearing a Lakeul shirt back in the day. Actually,
big fan.
He wanted him and Kane to hold one title simultaneously. It was like cutting half. God damn it, they've took it.
God, they stole our idea. Better marry her then. Yeah. Obviously, that's the joke. We just burned our own joke alive there, didn't we? So apparently the claim from people close to the series was that The Undertaker was open to continuing if Michelle was invited. So she was brought in to replace Mickie James. Now, it should be noted that there's no word that Undertaker specifically wanted to get rid of Mickie James, but that he wanted her. He just wanted his wife on the show, basically. He wanted her involved. So, yeah, there's layers to this, obviously. Some probably not worth expanding on. But I will say, like, so it's an entertainment show, right? At the end of it, right? You know, all these reality things, they're all phony. Yeah. Like, every single reality show in history is made up nonsense a lot of the time. So ultimately, it doesn't really matter. Mickie James is one of the best in her field.
Sucks for Mickie, yeah, I love her.
And like, no disrespect to Michelle McCool, right? I think Michelle McCool, what she did to kind of claw her way through the bad Divas era, and like make something of herself is very admirable. But she doesn't quite have the same resume as Mickie James.
No, it's not quite a nepotism hire. Obviously, Michelle McCool, a legend in the industry, just going into the Hall of Fame, which kind of feeds into it quite nicely to bring her in for season 2. But yeah, I feel bad for Mickie James and all this because the knowledge she's got from not only her years in the business but working for a variety of different companies and doing a variety of different roles. Let's not forget what she came into WWE as. So she I think I haven't watched LFG yet. I do want to watch it. Like the Dudley Boys, check it out. I've done a review of the first episode on the podcast channel, and I do want to get around to watching it because the clips I've seen. Funny.
They look fun. The Bully Ray one was so funny because like the guy, I kind of almost admire the balls on the guy, like speaking back to, and like Bully Ray's kind of a blustery dude, right? It's you can't take a lot. Sometimes he's working a gimmick, sometimes he's laying down the law, whatever. Yeah. But I was watching it and I was like, I think both of you are wrong.
We'd never make it as wrestlers, never even try. But like,
I'm way too soft.
I never know what the rules are in terms of what you're meant to be like. If you go in and be like, I'm so like you go in and be like, I'm so sorry, thank you very much. You goddamn Mark. Yeah. But then if you fire back, they're like, why aren't you respecting the legend of the business? Well, which one is it?
Which one is it, mother effer? Yeah, it's all over the place.
Yeah. But it is fun. I do want to watch more of it. The clips I've seen look great.
Yeah, the clips are funny.
But someone who else could be appearing on LFG, I suppose, to get into the business before jumping to the competition is Kendrick Lamar. So let's rewind slightly. Last weekend, Elimination Chamber, Toronto, Canada, of course, loads of celebrities there. One who wasn't mentioned but was in attendance, as we reported, was Drake. Noticed, of course, by Logan Paul. Not going to miss that sort of thing.
Nope.
But people have been asking, subsequent to this, well, if Drake's aligned with WWE, what does that mean for Kendrick and AEW? Right, okay, so this is where I'm glad I'm not Sean Ross Sapp having to answer these sort of questions. Someone asked, Any chance?
What's going on in someone's head? I love it.
It was immediately pitched by a bunch of wrestlers and people within the company to bring Kendrick Lamar into AEW, apparently. Realistically, and I can tell Sean's typing this, just like, do I have to even explain this?
Yeah.
Realistically, it would be very difficult to pull off. I want to swear, but I'm going to be good. No, you know what?
Yeah.
Of course, it's Kendrick Lamar.
The biggest rapper in the
I know
game.
you've had Snoop. I know we've had other celebrities.
Yeah. Snoop's past his prime.
Yeah.
He's still a major star.
Hasn't Kendrick got a huge tour coming up?
Yeah, with SZA.
Yes.
Well, actually, you know what? We did the gimmick for Drake's Spotify monthly listeners last month.
This is going to be an absolute monster after the Super Bowl, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's just not loading, so
okay.
that's good. Good stuff. Thanks, the
I'll
internet.
guess at least 3 listens.
Oh, here we go. 3 listens.
Yeah.
111 million a month. That's more than Drake. Yeah, Drake was like 80 or something like that. Yeah, so like this is just funny. It's a funny story. If they have Drake, we have Kendrick. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably not going to pay that money to get him on the show or whatever. But they are in Los Angeles this weekend.
Of course.
I don't know if Kendrick's on tour right now or whatever, but like, you know, they're in his city.
Look, you and I both want to know, Andy, where's Pusha T going in all this?
TNA.
Pusha TNA.
Pusha TNA. That would push TNA right to the top of the charts.
Just give him an open mic and tell him that someone slagged him off. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Scorched Earth.
He would do a deep dive Nardwuar-esque research and find the secret child that someone is harboring.
Yes. Any aspiring rappers, do not mention Pusha T.
I love Pusha T, man.
If he comes for you, your career's dead.
Daytona, baby, 10 out of 10. Yeah, crazy stuff. I mean, I would pop if he was. It's just funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's fun. It's one of those silly little wrestling things. It's like, you got Drake. Okay, we got the guy who killed Drake. Like, it's just. They're not going to do it. It's going to be too expensive, but it would be funny. And it was funny as well that WWE didn't show Drake on camera either. Apart from when he was sitting behind the announcers, but. Maybe he didn't want to be, I don't know.
The only way it would have been good is if they'd been like, someone's in the chamber. 1, 2, 3, and so-and-so's been eliminated. Look, obviously, in the elimination chamber, there's only 1 winner and 5 losers. Cut to Drake.
Well, like a sprained ankle, boy, he ain't nothing to play with, apparently. Peekaboo. There you go.
Peekaboo, indeed.
Have you seen that, the TikTok trend with the bit from that song where he's going bim, bop, boom, bop, bow? It's like my girlfriend keeps showing me videos of these like dogs like jumping around syncopated with the it's like bing bop bow. It's quality.
I did see a video of like a priest dancing to They Not Like Us the other day that was doing the rounds, which looked awesome.
This is what it's all about, man.
Fake influence, I'm sorry.
Silly nonsense. Let's go. I mean, celebrities wrestling.
It's the best in it.
Goes hand in hand.
The bar is Bad Bunny. Try and top it.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. No one's beating Bad Bunny.
I'm going to have to go and watch his entrance at Backlash again now. It's made work for myself today.
But
before I do that, you know what I'm going to do?
Watch this video.
What is it?
Morning news.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this. Look at that.
Check it out.
Will Ospreay. Billy Ocean. Kind of Billy Ospreay, Billy Ocean. Yeah. Will Ocean.
Get out of my dreams, get into my car?
I'm not sure.
I think so. Apologies if I've got that wrong.
Could not name a song.
Best luck on Saturday as well, Will. Check out what he said here. Bye.
Bye.
It's Sunday. The pay-per-view's goddamn Sunday. Best luck then, Will. Bye.
Yeah. See you later.